Hello humans, this is Random Visage and welcome to the Random channel. Today we're going to be continue playing Untold. This is part 5 I believe. Before starting I was checking something in my inventory and it seems like I found a fatal flaw in my behavior, understanding, what am I supposed to say. One of the things that I noticed is that there were uses on things. Like if I go in here, if I click bandages, it's got 3 out of 3 uses. So if I use one of these, it would mend my wounds. I don't know how much it would mend my wounds, but whatever. And then I clicked on the iron rusty sword and there are no uses in here, but it says the blade won't last much longer. Did it always say that, or is it just saying that right now? So I feel like it's going to fucking break in middle of a fucking fight. These gloves have definitely seen better days. I feels like these are going to break in between, and that is not going to end pretty. So I feel like I should buy another thing from the merchant. Some questions. Ask about his past. I'm a cavern master from Malaquim. We were ambushed in the marshlands about 2 weeks ago. The druids intervened, but it was almost too late. I survived. They brought me to this forsaken island. Unfortunately, it seems I'm stuck over here until the war is over. Now let's save, because I am going to about to ask him something that he's not going to like. Show him the silver brooch. Looks expensive. Never seen anything like it. Well, that was uneventful. Leave him alone. I feel like that's going to come bite me in the ass, but we'll see. Explore the harbor. Where would you like to go? Let's go to the tavern. Let's earn something if I can use this. The front door is missing. There are faded hieroglyphics above the entrance. Use the cipher stone. It reads Merchant's Refuge. Go inside. The tavern is empty. There is no furniture except for a bedroll on the floor. Judging by the footprints and the dust, there has been a lot of movement here recently. Follow the footprints. The footprints lead upstairs. For some reason, a crowd of people have been walking back and forth between the entrance and the second floor. I feel like I'm going to die if I go upstairs, but I've already got it saved, so what's the problem? Go upstairs. Halfway up the stairs, you discover a strange object. Upon closer inspection, it's a heavy iron key marked with the number 11. Take the key. I should turn back here, but I'm going to keep walking. Shrouded in white linen, fresh corpses are scattered all over the place. War casualties, most likely. Take a look around. You never know what you might find. Walking from room to room, you count 26 shrouded bodies, corpses, accustomed to the morbid pattern. You're caught off guard by a gruesome deviation. Behold, throat cut to pieces, forearms drenched in blood. The corpses of a dark-haired woman lies outstretched on the floor, facing the ceiling. There's no shroud apart from the green cloak. Clearly not a war casualty. Probably none of your business. Rifle through her pockets first. Her pockets are empty. Take a closer look at the dead woman. Secured by the clasp of rigor mortis, knife-like mirror shards can be found in both hands. Judging by her facial expression, she seems completely at peace. So she killed herself? Search the vicinity. You find one more corpse nearby, shrouded by like the others. This is the last one. Curiously, the white linens have been marked with hieroglyphics. Use the cipher stone. You translate the hieroglyphics on the white shroud that is wrapped around the corpse near the dead woman. The inscription reads, Beloved Fenray, we shall meet in the underworld, yours now and forever, Odeia. So, I guess it's a love story sort of situation, we'll see. Keep searching. There's nothing left to do here unless you want to search the corpse of value, plunder the corpses. Methodically examine 28 different corpses in pursuit of wealth. I got a bunch of shit. What did I get though? We got 11th key, which is great. We're going to go that there about now. Bronze ankle bracelet, which is just an accessory. Fashionable. I've got native druids in the isle. Yeah, I'm going to equip that. It's going to be great help. It provides some protection apparently. Glass eye. Green iris removed from the left eye socket of a desecrated corpse. Yeah, definitely not going to equip that. Replaces bronze anklet. Yeah, not equipping that. Silver earrings. They're from the ears of a deceased corpse. I'm not going to be equipping no earrings. Wooden hand? A fanciful prosthetic limb. It was accidentally damaged when it was removed from the previous owner, which reduced the functionality of its crude mechanisms. I feel like I'm going to die as soon as I go back downstairs. Having probed every last office of all those dead bodies, a smidgen of shame lingers in the crevice of your soul. The dead won't mind. It's about survival. Embrace the shame. Oh, this is about character development or something. Having probed every last office of all those dead bodies, a smidgen of shame lingers in crevice of your soul. So shame, I can either suppress the shame. It's about survival, which it is. The dead won't mind. Let's go with that. Rocks, flesh, bark, all interchangeable when souls depart. Rocks, flesh, bark, all interchangeable when souls depart. I don't think these guys, considering the condition, they were like anyone important to anyone, or like these are war casualties. I don't fucking know, but I don't think there's a problem with me taking this stuff. Probably the people here would have a problem with that, but I believe the dead won't mind considering they are dead. I would normally say it's about survival, which it is, but you know, in this situation, I mean, in pretty much every fucking RPG type game, we are always looting corpses. I mean, have you seen Elder Scrolls? Rocks, flesh, bark, all interchangeable when souls depart. This is a Diogenes thought process, I believe. He believes something like this, like you know, once I die, doesn't really matter what you do with my corpse, because you know I am dead. Who cares? What? Who? 9 lashes from typhoon. Pawns are like the lesser objects in chains of causation. Question marks are eternal to their dominion. Shut up. You're all alone, halfway down the staircase of a dusty old tavern. Walk down the stairs. The tavern, with no door, facing the northern sea, layers upon layers of ancient dust, sometimes rearranged by the invasion of ocean woods. Go back outside. So we're going to go back to the living quarters. I need to check out what's inside. What? On your way to the living quarters, you cross paths with a masked druid. Observe the druid. She's wearing a green cloak and a round white mask. So far, she seems lost in thought, wandering about the nebulous corridor without paying attention to your presence. Keep walking. Yeah, she ignored me because I was wearing the green cloak, I think. Hopefully. Didn't I get one? I just got a fucking key, didn't I? Yeah, I get the 11th key. What the hell is this? Why can't I use one of the unlock one of the doors? Yeah, 11. Let's save before I go in because I feel I'm gonna die. You try the key, yeah, it fits, open it. On the other side, you discover a small office. Furniture is barely visible in this vastly disarray of parchment, broken doors, stone tablets. A broken mirror hangs on the wall. Examine the stone tablet. This is obviously someone's life work. You wouldn't even know where to start with these ancient artifacts. Regrettably, you have already broken several clay tablets by accident. One conclusion seems obvious, namely that these tablets have been gathered for the purpose of preservation, achieved by translation or transcription. Examine the book piles. Overwhelmed by the sheer abundance of different books, you simply chose one at random and move on. Great. Examine the parchments. Undoubtedly, there's a great deal. What the file is this? A recipe antidote. Great. Undoubtedly, there's a great deal of knowledge to absorb between these four walls. Unfortunately, there are more pressing matters at hand. By chance, you find something interesting. Handwritten recipe wedged in between the mangled pages of a journal. Leave the room. Let's check out our inventory first. Did get a lot of new stuff. I'm gonna sell this stuff, I think. Yeah, what I'm gonna do with these. Let's look at this. Udaya's Book of Memory, Volume 41, Last Journal of a Druid Scholar. Okay, so that woman is the one in the... There was a woman, you know, in a shroud which had some inscriptions. So I believe that is the woman called Udaya, which is a scholar apparently. Let's read that. Last Hope, year 437. While many dismiss the Age of Dusk as a narrative of defeatism, I've always found it compelling. I was born during the culmination of massacres, having witnessed the tragic epilogue to genocide. During my formative years, I was left with a deep-seated pessimism. We are a dying breed. That's a crystalline fact. Crystalline fact? I mean, I'm guessing it means clear fact. In spite of this, I have endeavored to nourish the well-deserved joyfulness of youth among my disciples. Today, this exuberance fled prematurely from the eyes of Mev, merely 17 years of age. Our ancestral home reduced to a smoldering heap of ash. We could do nothing but watch the rising pillar of black smoke, knowing the best and brightest among us were burned alive. Throughout the years, I tried my best to awaken the dormant humanity within the soul of Mev. The blood relation of volcanic fae, she has always been tempestuous and sinister. I'm guessing it means tempting and sinister. In the face of this calamity, I fear that all hope is lost. This is the next year, I believe. Year 438. Life in Megalith. Life in the Megalith. I spend most of my days down in the chapels trying to educate the savage Fenray. She goes into the chapels? Holy shit, she's a boss. Fucking hell, I died multiple times down there. I guess they don't mind her. The Serenity no longer pays attention to my counsel, forcing me to endure the humiliation of unspoken ostracism. Last but not least, the imminent war is the main concern, making it necessary to postpone my dreams of exhuming the lost tablets of Dusk Megalith. Worf and Ray, during times of war and hardship, the satisfaction of carnal desire make it easier to cope. Conventional wisdom, but it's true. Come hell or high water, I'm positively smitten. Okay, so she's just describing the state of her country and her position in it, considering, how difficult it's being. Very interesting, very interesting. Transgression of Hayram vote. I'm not sure who that is. Red cover of the book contains the arguments of three prominent thinkers. The debate concerns the implication of assassination of Lord Selicro VIII. Well, this is going to be interesting. The translation of Hiram vote. Introduction. Ever since the doctrines of foundational law were laid down by the Great Wolf after the Cataclysm, the people of Temkiris have maintained. Yeah, Temkiris is definitely this island. Have maintained the same law, societal structure for 8,000 years. Even with the advent of a sedentary life and rise of city-states, foundational law held firm. During the 4th century of the 9th millennium, Lord Selicro VIII fundamentally changed the structure of his dominion by declaring the abolishment of slavery. A man of vision, he sought to dismantle the ancient caste society and transform the city-state of Roburg into a constitutional monarchy. The abolishment of slavery contradicts foundational law in several ways. Specifically, the doctrine of harmonious purpose. The Great Wolf likened society to a flock, in which some are natural leaders while others have characteristics more suited for menial tasks. The leader should not be burdened by such tasks. Therefore, people with poor mental faculties are natural slaves. The doctrine of breed. To avoid confusion and chaos, a certain group of families form the bloodlines of slave owners who are allowed to breed slaves and profit from the enterprise. This doctrine of might. The visitors may enslave defeated enemies as they see fit, and so on and so forth. So someone went into a old type of old sort of mentality and decided to change all of that. Slavery and what was the other thing? Caste system. That is very difficult. Believe me, it is insanely difficult. I mean, I live in India, and here the caste system, the removal of caste system only happened after the Britishers took over, and like several laws were placed, and like, holy shit, you have no idea. All kinds of crazy shit went down to remove caste system from society. But slavery was never really that popular in India. I mean, I've never even read much about slavery in history, honestly. I mean, obviously it exists in every country at some point, but it's never been a major issue in India. It's never been like, oh, we're abolishing slavery, and the upper class is like, no, you can't abolish slavery. I don't think that's ever been the case. But a caste system has been very difficult to deal with. It's still very difficult to deal with. I mean, just we have a different sort of setting now for caste system, but to some extent it still exists in a different manner, in a different form, and various things have changed which bring various disadvantage and advantage to certain people. But it has changed. Doctrine of breed, that's interesting. So they can just take prisoners of war and turn them into slaves. And bloodline of slaves are also different. Certain bloodlines become slave owners. Okay, so it's yeah, I get it. So some people are leaders, some people are like slave owners, some people are slaves, and some people are like management people, I guess, and warrior people. So 4 or 5 type of different people. I get it. The fundamental disruption to ancient tradition had severe and far-reaching consequences. The slave owner caste rebelled against the High Lord. The city-state of Roenberg plunged into civil war. However, cunning Salicro had strategized for years in advance. After a few months, the slave masters of Roenberg were either dead or exiled. The heartland did not suffer, but island territories were ravaged by war and never fully recovered. Needless to say, the High Lord's decision caused an uproar amongst the Druids. The prominent war chief Hiram Vogt decided to take matters into his own hand and assassinated Lord Sekiro VII. The news spread like wildfire. The High Lord was immensely popular, especially among the masses who had been emancipated. Who had become emancipated. Across the four corners of Temkiris, Druids were slaughtered by angry commoners who sought retribution. Druids are now seldom seen, peripheral outcasts who languish in outer regions. Some call it the Age of Dusk. The question is, how are we supposed to understand our destiny? Did Hiram Vogt cause the Age of Dusk, or was it the inevitable outcome in a world destined to change? The following three arguments illuminate the alleged transgression of Hiram Vogt from different angles. This is very interesting because they're showing not only a civil war and an era, and how the era came to be because of we saw both sides. We've been reading these books, and some books talking about from the side of the Druids, and some books are talking about from the side of the fucking normal people, the commoners or whatever, the High Lord and whatnot. So it's very different takes on both sides. Some are reading about, like, Audacia, whatever her name was. She was reading into how the Age of Dusk is affecting, and this one is reading about how the Age of Dusk affected and how the Age of Dusk came to be. That is very interesting. Audacia, the bookbinder, Dusk Megalith, first moon 438. Ura the Triestine. The two layers of reality. First layer belong to higher beings. Second layer is material realm of mortals. The third layer is unattainable and therefore irrelevant to intellectual pursuits. The stand to reason that the first layer machinations are orchestrated by Mame. The iron tablets of Trieste assert Mame is hand of fate, hands of time, hand of death. Pre-cataclysm doctrine is irrefutable because of its first layer proximity. Therefore, the allegation against Hiram Vogt must be considered accurate based on the chain of events that was set in motion by his fateful decision. Mame punished Nemesis Ravenous for transgression of imperialism. In this day and age, we have faced this punishment for transgression of intervention. More than 20,000 Druids were killed in genocide in 378-399. So I get it, what's happening here. What this is saying is that the higher beings or the gods are the top one. Mortals live in the second layer. Third layer is whatever. I don't really know what the third layer is about. But there's another thing. What this thing is very interesting is what they're saying. There's the king is the closest being to God, because a lot of cultures have that. A lot of cultures have that thing in them where the king or the monarch is like the closest being to God. I guess in Christianity it was more of the Pope, but God, like the king, is considered the main one in a lot of the other cultures. So what they're saying is that since he went against the vote, Hiram Vogt went against the king, whose order is the first layer, he was the wrong one. I think that's what they're trying to say. So he was punished accurately. So the allegations against Hiram Vogt could be considered accurate based on the chain of events. So his actions were considered wrong. His allegations were considered right because he went against the king, whose order are in the first layer, that would be the god's layer. Let's see the second philosopher. Kieran Fenray. Hiram Vogt single-handedly assassinated the second most powerful man in the world. Not only that, he defeated countless knights during his years as a fugitive. He was captured because of human fallibility. The bounty on his head had reached 3 million gold. Holy shit. The will of Mame is not all-powerful. Everyone knows that. The Great Cataclysm proves his fallibility. Only nature is fallible because the third layer is unattainable. It's simply foolish to ascertain the primacy of the first layer because mortals and higher beings move between first and second. And personally, I visited the underworld, the serenity of Nerva, regularly commune with volcanic fae. In fact, Malachite mystic known as the Abyss of Rook has recently purchased the fourth silver scimitar from Cassian Carlo, who personally stole it from the Black Throne. Ultimately, the truth is that Vogt is alive today, rotting away in Lash Falls prison. 1,000 rooks would have devoured him by now, were it a question of transgression against Mame. This is very interesting. Second man, the world not defeated. So Hiram Vogt is a good assassin, considering he went up there and assassinated the second most powerful man. We got that. He's still alive. I mean, he was alive whenever this was happening, and he was in prison. His bounty was 3 million gold. He was captured by human fallibility. I'm not sure what that is, because someone must have betrayed him or something. I'm not sure what that's all about. The level of Mame is not all powerful. Everyone knows that great cataclysm proves his fallibility. Only nature is fallible. The third layer is unattainable. Simply foolish to assert the primacy of the first layer. Okay, so this one is saying a bit differently. He's saying the first layer, believing the king's orders to be in the first layer is not the correct way to do things, because of a very simple thing that if we are mortals and we can't access the god's lair, so how are we supposed to say that what God really wants? So this goes against the thing that the kings are the closest being to God. It kind of goes against that. It doesn't exactly go against that, but it kind of goes against that. So that's what the ideal is. But that was the idea is. So he's saying that we should maintain a balance between the first layer and the second layer, because after mortals and higher beings interact, so we can't say the king is completely the supreme being and just can't be questioned. It's more of we can question him, but this one kinda this one looks more rational to me. He's not blaming or saying that Vogt was wrong or right, but he was just saying that this has happened and this is the cause and effect of the whole situation. So this one looks a bit more on the rational side than this. Now let's look at the third one, which is Amheru Taramu Taranek. We saw this name before. The age of dusk is upon us. The tripartite death spiral is like seasonal changes to those who move outside of material reality. Mame is not fully attainable, but more importantly, he is not deeply invested in the human affairs. The lunar disk of celestial optics is primarily used to stifle his boredom. One who does care is Nerva. The relevance of foundational law in the case of Hiram Vogt would suggest the involvement of Fenris, but we all know the great wolf is enduring the punishment for his own transgression. The injection of divinity among the human breeding circles. What is clearly the instrument of Nerva, erroneously characterized as the arbiter of cataclysm. Nerva constructed the underworld together with her father, the Pale King. The world is a dollhouse. Humans are playthings, nothing more to it. Thus the age of dusk minus the time of play. The assassination of Lord Sekiro was not a transgression. It was not anything beyond a mere flicker of light. Okay, so this one is again very interesting, because this is taking another pathway. This is taking two pathways. The first one is the absolute supremacy of God. It's not talking about the king's order being the first law. It's talking about that the gods are just are completely supreme beings. So most of them don't care what happens in the mortal realm, but Nerva is interacting with the mortal realm. So whatever happens in the world is not a transgression by a person. It's just that the decision that the goddess has made. So it doesn't really matter what we mortals think or do. Whatever she decides is what's going to be the law. So it doesn't matter that the Lord Selikro VII was murdered, because that's not a transgression. It's the will of Nerva, and the guy Vogt guy, the Vogt guy is just an instrument of that will. And this is very interesting. Another thing about the second thing about this is the fact that they say the humans are plaything, nothing more to it, is that they're speaking about the fact that humans on a universal scale is they're meaningless. Their actions are meaningless. Our deaths and our lives are meaningless. So the killing was not a transgression. It was nothing beyond a mere flicker of light. It was just an event that the goddess wanted to happen, so it happened. There is nothing more or less to it. There's nothing like, there's no complexity to it. There's no transgression here. It's just the will of the goddess to do things, and on a global scale our existence don't matter. So I do agree with the second point of the on a universal scale, on a cosmic scale, our existence doesn't matter. But I don't agree with the first part about the gods and whatever. So I guess that's their religion, so I'm not gonna go into that. But whatever, I don't believe in gods and all that, so this would make no sense to me. But the second part I do agree with, so I'm not gonna deny that, at least. So that was interesting. Next time we're going to read the antidote. We're going to end it here. I'm going to save it here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. There's a link in the description to my Twitter. There's also a link to my Patreon. You're going to check out my hentai let's plays. I'm uploading once a week now, because I was uploading every single day before this. But then I found out that, you know, I mean, not anyone's watching anyway on YouTube. At least 1 or 2 people look at my videos. But so I was like, you know, if I get a Patreon at some point, I'll you know, up the amount of uploads I do. But if not, then, well, whatever, we'll just keep uploading one video every week. So bye bye.